beginning of this year, New York City Council adopted what they call the Fair Chance for Housing Act, and it's not going to become effective until January 1st, 2025. The act is part of the New York City Human Rights Law, and it applies to all New York City multiple dwellings. And it creates a new category of exemption from rental discrimination, and it restricts criminal background checks against residential rental applicants. And under the act, owners will no longer be allowed to discriminate by barring rentals to individuals who had criminal cases that didn't result in a conviction. Someone might have been arrested for something, but there was no conviction on the case. If someone has a misdemeanor conviction that's more than 3 years old, that can't be the basis for not renting an apartment to them. If someone has a felony conviction that's more than 5 years old, that also cannot be a basis for not renting an apartment to someone. Next page, Heather. And one of the things that survives any of this is barring housing or discriminating against individuals who are on sex offense registries. So it doesn't matter, this is kind of separate from what I just said about the conviction histories and how far they go back. If someone is on a sex offense registry, an owner is allowed to decide not to rent an apartment to them. One of the things that is important with this new law is that if you have someone apply for an apartment, they fill out a rental application, and you have to process the rental application and decide that someone is otherwise acceptable as a tenant before you run the criminal background check on them. And it may actually or should be in if you have written rental applications, there should be a portion of that where the applicant agrees to a credit check and a criminal background check, when they're making the application. But you can't actually run that background check until the applicant has been otherwise found to be acceptable. So, and if you're going to, once you do the criminal background check, if you find something that makes your office not want to rent to this individual, you have to let the prospective tenant know that you're doing that and give them an opportunity to respond. This act, it's consistent with what I was just mentioning. There are some HUD public policy guidelines now that are similar to this criminal background check restrictions. And I've read that Los Angeles and New Orleans are two cities that happen to have similar types of restrictions in their housing laws now.